I love Multiversus. It is truly one of my favorite games of all time. And yes, I've played Super Smash Bros. And Injustice. The mechanics, the life of the characters, the satisfaction of just hitting someone is unlike any other game I've ever played. That combined with the fact that it's a Warner Bros. Game, which has some of my favorite IPs of all time, and this should be my favorite game ever. If only they made one correct decision for the entirety of the game's lifespan. Ever since the beta, the game just felt like downgrade after downgrade, until the amount of players online was cut in half, a few times over. There are some highs, of course. LeBron James the GOAT being in a fighting game is still one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And I've seen Pickle Rick.
I'm Pickle Rick!
So with the game finally dying in May, let's look through the good and the bad of Multiversus. I was there since the beginning, actually before. I remember seeing the trailer for the game drop and thought, a game where you can play as Batman? That's the best and most original thing I've ever seen in my life! It felt like forever until the beta was finally out, but man was it worth it. From day one, I instantly fell in love with the game. It was some of the most fun I've ever had in gaming. It was fast-paced, it was chaotic, and it was just fun. Stringing together combos, getting out of insane situations, coming back from near defeats, and the balancing of the characters was also pretty good. And don't say Harley Quinn or Superman or Wonder Woman or Bugs Bunny or Iron Giant or Finn or Taz. And there weren't that many bugs. Okay, there may have been a couple, maybe a handful. Okay, the game was kind of a mess in beta. I can't tell you how many times I grappled as Batman just to go flying out of the map and die. But this game did have something that I really didn't think would be the best deal to come out of this game, the Founders Pack. The Founders Pack was something you could buy during the beta of the game. For 40 bucks, you got a few cool cosmetics as well as 30 character tokens. They gave the player two options. Play for free and grind for their favorite characters, or spend $40 and get every character with the promise of more in the future. That's already pretty great, but then there's the fact that the grind didn't used to be that bad. With only like an hour or two of playing, you'd get enough gold, the currency at the time, to buy your favorite character. And by the time you've mastered the two, you could reasonably unlock the majority of the cast. I ended up going with the grind set, and man did I wish I just bought the Founders Pack. Cause after 130 hours and $20 to $30 spent on the game, I still haven't unlocked all the characters. But at least with the beta, everything basically went as smoothly as you would expect a beta to go, and hopes were high for what this game might bring after getting more characters like Rick and Morty and LeBron James. With the leaks of more characters on their way, everything looked like it was gonna go just fine. So a little under a year into Multiversus life, it was clear the game needed some work. Actually a lot of work. Though with little warning, the game servers went down for a while with the promise of the game being better when it came back up. There were a few jokes about the game already dying, but it was clear the game wasn't really done yet, mostly because it was in beta, so me, and many others, were very understanding when the developers needed to work on the game for a while and make it better. So that was all we got for a while, the promise of a better game in the future. And for a while it was radio silence. Many theories about what might be to come, and for a little while we were unsure if the game was cancelled or not. Finally, almost an entire year later, in May of 2024, the game was out. This is amazing. I've been waiting so long for this. Wait, where's the gold? Where's the toast back button? Why can't I use the locked characters in practice mode? What the fuck is a Rift? Fortnite reference? So it's easy to say the official launch of the game was pretty lackluster, not having a lot of the things we already had in beta. And the new content was actual garbage. But at least it comes with new characters, right? Oh hey, look, it's the Joker.
Wanna see a magic trick? Here is your ass, and here's my dick.
To be fair, we also did get Jason, and his moveset is pretty cool. Hell, so is Joker's. In fact, to this day, I don't think there's been a bad Multiversus character. Fuck Banana Guard and anyone who uses him. He hits hard and he moves fast, and all his moves have insane reach. And for the moves that don't, you never see them unless you play them, so if you corrected me, get the hell out of this video and leave a like and subscribe on the way out. Season 1 also came with the Battle Pass, because of course it did. For 10 hard-earned dollars out of your wallet, you get Jason and some decent cosmetics. Now 10 bucks is standard for a Battle Pass, and most Battle Passes are strictly cosmetic, so getting a character along with it should be a bargain, right? Well, in most games the Battle Pass is cosmetic because the gameplay doesn't change character to character, and if you got something tangible out of it, then the game would be pay to win. Not that that matters or anything. But with Multiversus, the gameplay is about the difference of character to character. So a deal should entice me to actually spend money on the game to get more out of the game, and sure, technically it's a better deal, but only because the characters are $10 fucking a pop. I mean, seriously, who made that decision? There are 36 characters you have to unlock in the game today. That means if you started today, you'd need to spend $360 to get everyone in the game. You do get a little free fighter currency, but man is it a grind. For each fighter, it's 3,000 fighter currency. And you get some by getting a character up to levels 5, 10, and 15. You also get some by completing daily challenges, but your main source is going to be Rifts, your mom's wallet, and the Battle Pass. So technically you still have two options, pay money or grind. But grinding has gone from a chunk of hours and a manageable amount of time to an insurmountable goal, and money has gone up 700 100%. Also, some characters like Joker are 6,000 fighter currency. Do they want people to play their game? And I'm certainly not going to play rifts. Oh yeah, I should probably talk about those. So rifts are kind of like the campaign of the game. You go through a series of PvE missions with various types of gameplay, meaning an actual fight or poorly made minigames. Well, whatever. Rifts suck and have terrible dialogue, but there's no actual reason to play them. So Agent Smith was brought to the game this season, and by completing 20 rifts, he's completely free. That sounds like a fine deal until you realize that these rifts skyrocket in difficulty, and you needed a certain amount of gym XP just to play the more difficult challenges. How do you get gym XP, you ask? Say it with me now. Copious amounts of grinding or hard-earned money. Because why wouldn't I spend money so that I could grind copious amount of hours just to get a character for free? I may be being the slightest bit unfair here. Throughout the season, there were such challenges the game would give you, and at the end of it, you got some fighter currency. But across the season, that got me 1, maybe 2 total characters. And surprising no one, the game had a substantial drop-off in players by the end of Season 1. The game wasn't dead yet, but it was clear to the majority of people that the game still needed work to be done. But hey, at least there weren't many glitches. Oh, God! Honestly, there's not as much to talk about with Season 2. Samurai Jack and Beetlejuice got added, rifts still suck, and the game was still a greedy mess. Not much changed. But one good thing to come out of it was ranked mode, but by the time it got added, me and my friend had stopped playing for a while, and the people that we were playing against haven't left their computer since the beta, so needless to say, it didn't go very well. There was a mid-season balance, but that's just me reading the wiki. Can you tell the damage had been done yet? So, Season 3, am I right? The Powerpuff Girls were added with a pretty cool moveset. Nubia was added for some reason. I stopped playing before she was added. She might be peak, but I'm not about to find out. The promo was pretty funny because why would you have a third thing there when that was obviously isn't a character? If I can't play it as the phone guy from Toy Story, I'm gonna be pissed. Season 4 had a bit more substance than I expected, but that's only because my expectations were not very high. Marceline from Adventure Time and Raven were both added, and the way you unlock characters has also completely changed. Now instead of getting fighter currency, that is now strictly how you buy characters. Wait, then what the fuck is Gleamium? Now you get bundles of fighter XP for Fighter Road, where you specifically grind to unlock one character at a time. So wait, what exactly changed? From the little I played, it does seem like a little bit faster process to unlock the characters, but it was really too little too late. There are also now 2 battle passes per season, but they're both shorter than usual. So then what the fuck changed? And also with Fighter Road, it still takes a really long time to unlock characters, and you don't get to choose which character you unlock. So the thing that changed for Fighter Road was that now, if your favorite character is Raven, you have to unlock almost every single other character in the entire game by grinding. So, good change? Shields are now in the game if you want to be lame. Roguelike rifts were also added if you want to be lame. Also, I'm only kind of sure this was added in Season 4, but you can now buy every single character in the game for $75. Bitch, that is more money than Spider-Man 2. How the fuck is Multiversus more money than Spider-Man 2? What the fuck world are we in? That brings us to today, where we're eagerly waiting for the next and final season before the game shuts down in 4 months, where we're also getting yet another DC fighter in Lola Bunny. Man, you really don't want people to play, huh? Okay, it's time we talk about the biggest problem with the game. Who the fuck picked these characters to be in the game? Warner Bros. Has an issue with putting Batman and everything, so when they were asked, they were like, hey, put Batman in. Batman's already in the game. Fuck, Nubia? Who the fuck cares about fucking Nubia? Warner Bros. Has so many franchises to choose from. Harry Potter, Godzilla, King Kong, Austin Powers, The Wizard of Oz, Pacific Rim, Scribblenauts, Ben 10, Lord of the Rings, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, South Park, Mortal Kombat, Mad Max, Lazy Town, and The Big Bang Theory. No, instead we get fucking Nubia. I'm not even joking or exaggerating in any sort of way when I say if they added Young Sheldon to the game, so many fucking people would start playing Young Sheldon. That's not an exaggeration. It's such an easy fucking W. You put LeBron James in. Of course you know that the people that want to play funny characters. Put Young Sheldon in Multiversus! Sorry, I'm just a big Young Sheldon fan. Bazinga. If they added Godzilla, I could play this game regularly forever. Hell, my friend said that if Ben 10 was added, he would play the game, and he doesn't give a shit about Multiversus. You know what he would say if I told him Nubia was in the game? Okay, so I just wanted to inform you that the hit character Nubia has been added to Multiversus.
Bro, who's Nubia?
I'm not even saying the roster has to be all big characters. It's pretty standard for a fighting game of this sort to have some deep cuts, but Multiversus chose so many B through D list characters that even though they're fine, it just makes the game come off as boring. Sure, Marceline is a cool addition, but where the hell is Ice King? And why the fuck is Banana Guard here? Who cares about fucking Banana Guard? The 3 Banana Guard fans must be so happy you finally got a game, but how about we prioritize the millions of young Sheldon fans? It also sucks that we're getting so many DC fighters. Both last season and this one had 2 fighters being a DC fighter and a character from an IP we already have in the game. But even if the game had more and cooler fighters, I don't think it would actually make much of a difference because unlocking characters is actual hell. Everything about this game was so clearly and unapologetically for the money that it's time I finally talked about the real reason why this game failed. Warner Bros, I love you. I love you. You have some of my favorite characters of all time, but goddamn, you have enough money. The moment you start putting ads in your paid HBO Max subscription, we're done. Okay, I'm breaking up with you. I know this is super important to you, okay? You're losing a customer. People are so quick to blame Player First Games for the mistakes of Multiversus, and while I'm sure some of the netcode could be blamed on them, do you really think the greed didn't come from the billion-dollar company? They saw the fact that their live service advertisement machines had 150,000 concurrent players, and they wanted every last one of those players while it ran dry and rushed the development team to a certain date because the short burst of cash now is way better than a long-term steady flow. Yeah, so anyways, Multiversus ended up losing $100 billion for the company. Funny how that happens. Between this game and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, it should be pretty clear that they have no idea what they're doing. Also, just need to say to that game's defenders, having the Justice League just be clones of the original is a really lame way to do it. It took away from the little cool factor that the game had, and it also should have been Batman and not Wonder Woman that stayed with the team and decided to take them down because, you know, that's like in character. But sorry for the mini video essay, but I just had to get that off my chest. Anyways, back to Multiversus. Well, so after a very slow and painful march to the finish, Multiversus is being permanently shut down at the end of May. I guess 600 max concurrent players just wasn't enough. You can still play the game offline when it goes, but I'm not playing Rifts. Those fucking suck. Also, if you don't have the game downloaded and updated, when it shuts down, you'll never be able to play the game at all. I don't know if there's some ploy to get people playing again, but so far it isn't working. But even if it does, it just isn't gonna last long. But at the end of May, the game that in my opinion had one of the highest amounts of potential will be gone. I really should be sad. I was a Multiversus supporter from day one and I was really optimistic about how it would go, but all I feel is disappointment. Not in Player First Games, nothing I talked about was really their fault, but in Warner Bros specifically. I expected too much out of them. I really thought that they would see the fact that the game was tanking after the relaunch and let the developers fix it, but they never let up. Right until the end, the game was a greedy mess, and even now as I'm seeing the game fade away, never again to be seen, I still don't really want to play it. I still do think there's a reality where the game can succeed, or maybe they ease up on the greediness since you can't buy things anymore, and some people actually play the game just to have fun with it, playing with characters they would have previously had to grind dozens of hours for, but at this point I'm done getting my hopes up just for Warner Bros to not change anything about the way they run things. If by some miracle the game springs back to life, the only advice I have is to cut down on pricing and grinding and focus on adding characters that actually get people to play the game. One more absurd thing, as of January 31st, you can no longer spend money on the game. So why the fuck can't you let me play all the characters? What do you have to gain? Why is there still a shop that I can't buy anything in? Season 5 has just came out as of writing this and it's off to a pretty good start. The gameplay has finally been sped up, wish that happened sooner, and the battle pass is completely free, Aquaman being unlockable off-rip. However, you still need to grind a lot to get a meaningful amount of characters in the game. Again, if I can't spend money on the game, just give me the whole game immediately. Maybe the speed will bring some people back, but the grind will just as soon send them back away. That being said, the player base has tripled during the launch of Season 5, so who knows, maybe this is a start of something good, but only maybe. I know, people have talked this game to death, but I do think it's important to discuss why this game succeeded, and as of writing this section, has over 200,000 concurrent players, which is more than the all-time peak for Multiversus. You could play every single character for free immediately. That's it. That's the reason. Every purchase you make in the game is purely cosmetic. How do you get people to buy cosmetics? Well, you release a version of the Invisible Woman that has the majority of her ass out, and some half-naked men to balance it out. It's also important to say that the gameplay loop is more tuned to already popular types of games, but Smash Bros is pretty popular, so I can't give them too much credit. Seriously, if they would have made every single character playable for free off rip, then nerds like me would have still brought people like Rick Prime. I know most people watching don't care, but for the people that do, I know I haven't uploaded in a while. I've been writing and preparing a good amount of videos to have a nice flow of them, because after I uploaded their Batman video, it was just kind of a resounding now what. So I want to upload at least once, maybe twice a month if there's more easy video, but I do want to make sure that the videos I upload are actually good. My Spider-Man wishlist is something I'm pretty proud of, and the Batman video is alright, but pretty negative and not very constructive, which is kind of the point of this channel. I have some pretty big plans for some of the videos I'm going to make, one of which is about 10 months into development, so if you made it this far, please subscribe. I want to hit 500 subscribers so that I can actually make money and justify the work being put into it, as well as compensate the people helping me.